guys, welcome to Super Belle Sews. My name's Sarah, thanks for joining me today. Today will be my quite late March and April makes video. I decided to put March and April together because I didn't make that much in March, and one of the things I did make was for a blog that was only recently published, so I couldn't share that until now or until a few days ago, and yeah, I just thought I'd do them together. I am wearing, you can't really see it because of all my hair, this is the By Hand London Tamsin dress in a red gingham. I'll pop a picture of the full dress up here. I actually made this last summer for a trip to France. I had an opera contract in France at a beautiful chateau last summer, and it was the perfect opportunity to make some really gorgeous summery dresses. So it's been nice that the weather's perking up a bit because I'm able to take those out of the wardrobe and start rotating them again for the first time in absolutely ages. So yeah, let's go. What have I been making? Now, the first thing I made in March, I actually am not going to show you for a couple of reasons. So it was a self-drafted skirt, just with elasticated waist, very, very basic midi skirt, in just a black fabric. It was fine, very uninteresting, which is why I haven't taken a picture of it. The fit was fine. The fabric wasn't the best choice. So it was a viscose jacquard. And in my head, like, I know that the jacquard is actually it's when you get the sort of, it's like the texture of the weave, isn't it? When you get like a design woven in. But in my head, I always thought it just had a little bit more like strength and body to it. This one was really, really light. And it was probably too light for the skirt, so it had a really nice drape and everything, but it just, like, if you look at it funny, there's a little hole, there's a little tear. It just has not turned out to be very wearable. I want it to be like a workhorse, because a black midi skirt, you can wear it for work, you know, it's like, we'll go with lots of things, but it just didn't really work out. So I didn't take a picture of it at the beginning because it wasn't very interesting. And I was going to take a picture of it now, but it just doesn't look great because it's sort of falling apart and I don't really wear it. The method was good though. I used this Atelier Brunette elastic, which is black and gold, like really gorgeous metallic elastic. So I'm thinking I might unpick and keep that for something else. And then see, I might be able to salvage some of the fabric as some lining or something like that, but it just was not the right choice for that garment. You live and you learn, and that is one of the risks of obviously buying fabric online, because you can't always get the feel of the weight or the drape or whatever, despite the fact that a lot of websites put a lot of details. I don't always know exactly what I'm looking for in that sense. The next make was much more successful. This make behind me. This is the Lyra dress. So you'll have heard about Lyra lots because I've made it several times, and I'm on the pattern cover for it, so I go on about it all the time. But for anyone who doesn't know, it's a Tilly and the Buttons pattern. It's like a shirt dress. It has a shirt, like a button placket down the front, but it only goes as far as the waistline, and then you have a gathered skirt. It's got a shirt collar. You have options with your sleeves, so you can either do, I think it's a full length billowy sleeve, or a short, like normal shirt, short sleeve. It's got darts in the bodice, got quite a loose fit, and then there are waist ties as well, optional obviously. It is listed, oh, and you can add tiers to the skirt as well, so you can have it as a single tiered skirt, or you can have it as with double tiers, or with tiered skirts. You can do as many tiers as you like, really, can't you? It is an advanced beginner pattern. I would say, oh no, improver pattern, sorry. It's an improver pattern. And I would say there are some tricky moments. I think the button placket and the collar can both be a little tricky if you've not done them before. But Tilly and the Buttons patterns have really good, clear instructions. So if you've never tried a shirt before, this would be a good first pattern to try. Obviously, it's not got all of the aspects of a shirt. It's not got cuffed sleeves. It's not got a yoke or anything, but it's got some really key elements, and the instructions are very, very clear to follow. Yeah, so it's improver level. It's in their full size range, which is 6 to 34, and the upper measurements for that are a 60-inch bust, 53-inch waist and a 61-inch hip. Obviously, there's quite a lot of give in the skirt, so if you looked at the finished garment measurements, there'd be even more space. So yeah, so that's the pattern. Now, I've made this several times. I've made it in swooshy viscose, I've made it in nice cotton poplin, I've made it in a cotton lawn. Like, I've really made loads of versions of this dress, and I love it. It's a real workhorse in especially my summer wardrobe, but to be honest, I've got some more autumnal wintry versions as well. This fabric is an organza that I bought from Rainbow Fabrics, and it has these little tiny hearts. They're like little velvet hearts in them. And initially when I purchased this fabric, I actually was planning on making something more like maybe the indigo or something, like something just more simple, like a simple shape. And then I saw another dress. So I'll pop a picture up here of the dress as the inspiration, but it was a shirt dress in black organza. And I just thought like it was quite a chic way of using that fabric and of elevating a shirt dress, so to make it more evening wear. Now, I hadn't worked with organza before. I really loved working with it. It was very easy to cut out and everything. It does behave in a slightly different way to how other fabrics I would have used for this dress would have done. And the main place I noticed this was in the skirt. So initially I thought, oh, I'll make this and then I can cinch it in at the waist and then it will be like this really chic little dress. When I cinch, because basically the tiers in the skirt, you'll see in the pictures here, they have a lot of volume. Like, they don't gather and float around like a tiered skirt normally would, and like this amount of fabric normally would. It like holds its shape and it holds its structure. It really sticks out, and which is great. And I sort of thought, well, if I belt it, it might just stick out even more, but it didn't. It did this weird like bubbly thing. It sort of went like the top tier of the skirt sort of went like this, and then the bottom part sort of went like that. It was not good. So straight away I was like, no belt. I think the way to wear this, because obviously you can see through the fabric, I think the way to wear it is to wear something fitted underneath, and then just have the looser fit on the top. So you may see under this, you may see the hint of a square neck. I mentioned in my last vlog that I'm going to a load of weddings in 2 weeks, and I am planning on making, so I've got 3 wedding events in one weekend, and I'm working on outfits for each one. This is going to be for the evening do that I'm attending on the Saturday. I would like to wear this dress. Initially, when I took photos, I was just wearing a little jersey slip dress, a ready-to-wear one, but it was really bad quality. It was way too short. It kept riding up. It just would not be workable. So I want to make something a bit more formal. So currently, this is the start of a sleeveless Upton bodice from Cashmerette. So I'm going with a square neck, sleeveless, darted bodice, and then I'm going to do like a short skirt, although I haven't decided how short, so I think I'm going to make it longer-ish. I need to play around with the silhouette once I've got the bodice fit right, and then I'll just lop it off to see what looks good. I don't normally wear short skirts, but again, there's the coverage of the organza skirt, which makes it feel not quite so exposed. So that's what's going on under this. So hopefully, within a couple of weeks, I will have a black dress that I can wear under this, but it won't be attached, so I can wear it for other base layers as well. And I just think that will look better than the strappy dress. I also, you can see here, oh sorry, here and here, there's much more coverage for the bra strap. So when I posed for the photos that I took in my garden, there was like, so I had to French seam the whole dress, but that means you have a visible seam at the shoulder here, and then you had bra strap and spaghetti strap for the slip, and I just thought it looked really messy. So I'm hoping like with a bit more thickness here, it will just look more polished. So I'm really, really chuffed with this dress. I have to say, it was a really satisfying thing where the vision you have actually comes together. I got these beautiful buttons, which are from the indoor, there's a fabric shop and haberdashery at the indoor market in Durham Marketplace, if you ever go there. Very reasonably priced. I also got a black, it was sew-in interfacing, because that's all I could get at the time, for the collar and the button stand, because obviously you don't want the white interfacing showing through. But overall, I'm really pleased with the final look. I'm thinking with this, so the buttons match my engagement ring, and then I've got this big magenta bow coming for my hair, and I have these magenta shoes with bows on. So that's the look I'm going for the evening. I've had a little bit of faff with the fit for the Upton dress, although part of me thinks I might just base the whole thing together and go from there, because it's just a bit tricky to tell when you've not got it all attached. So let's see. But that was a real winner, and a make I'm really proud of. So that was my second make for March. I then made the Hinterland dress. The Hinterland dress is by So Liberated. I hadn't made one of their patterns before. This and the fabric came in my Little Miss So-and-so box for, no, must have been for February, but I made it up in March. And basically this dress, again, you've got a gathered skirt, you have a button placket, which is optional. So you can have no button placket, or you can just have it on the bodice, or you can have it all the way down the front of the dress. I went for just the bodice placket. I've also seen some people do a false placket. So if you want the look of a button placket, but you don't want to sew a load of buttonholes, I think there are some other people who have hacked that. Worth a look. It has options for sleeves, so you can have sleeveless or short sleeves, or I think it's like 3/4 length sleeves, which is what I went for. It's an advanced beginner level, and it comes in their full size range, I think, yeah, which is 0 to 34, so up to 58.5-inch bust, 52.5-inch waist, and a 61-inch hip. Again, there's some give in the hip. And the fabric I used was this lovely cotton lawn floral fabric from Little Miss So-and-so as part of the box, and the buttons came in my box as well. Again, I was really chuffed with this. It's a pattern I hadn't made before. I am getting much better at picking my size according to the finished garment measurement chart. I've been a bit afraid sometimes of new woven patterns because getting the right fit for me around the bust is really complicated. I initially was finding I always had a lot of excess here, whereas actually I needed to size down and then do a bust adjustment, or sometimes you don't need to if there's enough ease, you know. So with this, I sized down, I did a tiny bust adjustment, and I thought the fit was really good. The neckline sits flatly. Is that the right thing? Sits flatly on my front here. It's got this nice rounded neckline. And overall, I was really pleased with this make. It's really nice and lawn. I think you could probably do it in a slightly more sturdy cotton as well. Maybe a shirting, maybe a poplin, maybe like a linen. But I'll definitely be exploring this. It's just a very versatile pattern. So yeah, I'm really glad to have sort of gotten that done. And I think, again, that will be a workhorse. Now it's starting to get a bit warmer. That's one that I can wear. I think I can get away with wearing that to work. But equally, I could just wear it at the weekend, wear it to go out in the daytime, whatever. So pleased with that one. And then my last make in March, which was the one I couldn't share until recently, was my Redwood tote. Now, if you watch Friday Sews, you will have seen this already really recently. So I'm sorry that I'm repeating myself constantly. This make was for the Jenny Stitches blog, and as such, I was gifted everything for it. So I was gifted the pattern and the fabric and the notions, and I was given a voucher for writing this blog post. I am a big fan of Jenny Stitches, and I tend to not, if I don't think something's great, I will be honest, and everything I've had from Jenny Stitches has been great. So even though I have a relationship, I do genuinely think she's just lovely. Her shop is lovely. Yeah, it's a great little store if you're looking for somewhere to buy stuff. She's got a good selection as well and really good prices. So this was my first bag making experience. I won't, as I said before, I won't say too much because it's on the blog, but it was really satisfying. It's a bit daunting getting going, I think, because it's a different skill and there's like some hardware. There are lots of things you have to get. The way the pattern works, you're not given pattern pieces, you're given dimensions, so you measure out the pieces yourself. But it just comes together really quickly. The construction is easy. They explain everything. Like, I was a bit worried about the zips. I've sewn invisible zips quite a bit, but I've only ever sewn one exposed zip, and that was when I first started sewing in a makeup bag, and it was an absolute mess. But they just describe it in a really clear way. So after I finished that bag, I went pretty much straight out and ordered stuff to make another bag, the range backpack, which I showed you a few weeks ago. So yeah, I'll stop raving about bag making soon, but I just really enjoyed it. So if it's something you've been considering doing, I would say go for it. This bag is, it's a medium-sized tote bag. It's lined, it has a zip at the top and a zip pocket and just a normal pocket on the outside. And then you've got a pocket in the lining as well. You have small handles and a long strap. Again, it's just a very usable bag. I'm going to be making one as a gift for someone else soon. And I think the only adjustment I would make would be to the dimensions. So to make it a little bit taller, so that it could fit A4 stuff in. I think I've said before, I carry a lot of music and stuff around. And also, I'm a bit old-fashioned. I love reading magazines. I know everyone's gone off magazines, but I love having an actual hard copy of a magazine. So I often have a magazine in my bag, even if I'm not going for work, if I'm going to meet a friend or whatever, I'll often have a magazine in my bag. And I think just to make that perfect, I'd like the bag to be a little bit taller, and then I could fit an A4, so either some music or a magazine in there. So, but that's easy to do because, as I said, you don't have pattern pieces, you just have measurements. You just need to work out how tall you want it to be and then adjust the right pieces. So easy peasy. Yeah, really, it's a funny one actually, because even though I didn't sew much in March, I was quite pleased with what I did sew, apart from the skirt. Yeah, so it felt like a productive month. So that's it. That was it for March. Now we're on to April. Mixed bag. April was a mixed bag. I did sew a bit more in April. I started off with the Azores dress from Itch to Stitch, which I'll pop up here. I had never made an Itch to Stitch pattern before, but it appealed to me because they have cup sizes, basically. So the patterns all come in, I think it's B, C, D and double D cup sizing. And I just really like it when people have invested in making fitting easier. I always think that's great. Now, the dress, I'll talk about the pattern itself, and then I'll talk about my version of it. It's got a blouse or a dress option. It's quite a voluminous pattern. And then it's got a sheared waist and sleeves at the wrists. There's a front and a back yoke. The skirt is knee length if you do that option. The top, you get like a little peplum vibe if you do the top. And it's got a really good size range from 00 to 40, which the largest size is 63-inch bust, 54.25-inch waist and 62-inch hip. And it is an intermediate level pattern. I like this because I thought the yoke was an interesting detail. I thought it's got quite good coverage for if I want to wear to work. The only thing I wasn't sure about, and that I would probably change next time, is the length of the skirt I didn't love. So I'd probably either make it more midi length or I would add a tier. But otherwise, the pattern itself I liked. There were some steps where I went against my instinct and followed the instructions, and I didn't always feel like the finish was as neat as it could be. So I think next time I would just follow my instinct. But the first time I make something, I like to try and follow the instructions if I can. Now, the issue I had, so I was gifted a fabric for this, which was a polyester crepe from Minerva.com as part of the Minerva Brand Ambassador Programme. Gorgeous colour, really easy to work with in terms of like cutting. It was good, it didn't fray, all of those other things, so really good. My machine absolutely hated it. So it was skipping stitches all the time. The shearing, whatever, took ages because it would get partway through and then it would just start skipping and then you have to pull the whole line out and start again. And obviously it's a crepe fabric, so it's just not got the best texture in a set. Like, it doesn't feel the nicest against your skin. In the end, I wasn't able to shear at the wrists because the machine just wasn't having it. So I ended up elasticating the wrists, which works fine, but you're then obviously missing that design detail as well. So yeah, I just think the fabric was a little heavy duty for the pattern, and because the pattern is a little bit more advanced, I just really needed my machine to play ball and it just wouldn't. So I didn't really enjoy making that. It's great to wear. It like doesn't crease at all. So it's great for work, you know, and so there are lots of pros to it, and the colour is really nice. But I didn't enjoy making it because I had so many issues with my machine. And I think it's one of those where in future, if I use that fabric for like a bottom half garment, although I don't think my machine would put up with it, to be honest, or if I used a lighter fabric for the dress, I think I would enjoy it more. But I think the fit's nice and everything. So I think it's just, yeah, I just need a break from it because I didn't enjoy it so much. But it is a wearable garment, and there are things I definitely like about it. But I need to come back to that one at a later date, I think. The next make was my first Tilly and the Buttons Mabel dress. So you'll probably have seen the Mabel dress everywhere. It's got this milkmaid style blousey bodice with these voluminous sleeves. There's a little like frill detail on the neckline with a keyhole and a tie, a sheared waist, shearing on the sleeves as well, and just a nice summery dress. So I was a bit uncertain about this version. I really like the shape straight off the bat, but I picked fabric that was very feminine, and I don't normally wear a lot of things that are very girly. I wear pink, but I normally wear like quite a dark or a rich pink. I don't often wear like a baby pink. And I had these fabrics from Jenny Stitches, which were viscose chalet, I think. And there was one in a sort of light green and one in a baby pink, and they had little white daisies on them. And I bought them with the view of making a sort of Rixo style dress and blocking those two colours together. And I just, when the Mabel pattern came out, I thought like, oh, maybe that's the one to try it with. And I wasn't really sure when I finished it. Again, I love the shape, but I wasn't sure if the colours suited me. And I was a bit like, oh, am I going to look like I'm in a costume in this? But it's been my most popular Instagram post this year. So what do I know? What do I know? And so now I feel like I want to wear it everywhere. I've just been waiting for the sun to come out because now I'm all like about it. So I really love this pattern. I know that people have been very hot and cold on it. I think because it's very feminine in its shape, and it's could be a bit fussy maybe. I think that obviously appeals to some people and puts other people off, but I feel really good in that shape. I really enjoy sewing it. It's got so many interesting little features, but it's still quite a quick one to put together. I've since made another one and I'm about to make another one. So yeah, firm favourite. Very summery, spring, summer sort of frolicking in a meadow vibes, but like I'm here for that. Don't know about you, I'm here for that. This fabric was really nice. It's, you know, it's a viscose chalet, so it's very light and drapey and slips all over the place, but it feels very nice to wear. And I think the colours, they've grown on me. They've grown on me. I think the green balances out the pinkness of the pink, if you get me. So yeah, another good make. Actually, I say that was the most popular. I haven't checked. It was between the Mabel and this shirt dress. They were sort of around the same spot. I haven't checked recently. Okay, then I made a couple of garments, which I was thinking of putting them both in for Selfless So April, but I ended up just putting, not this one, the next one in. So these were a couple of dresses for my goddaughter and her new baby sister. I used my favourite little kiddie dress pattern, which is Poppy and Jazz Pansy Dress. So Poppy and Jazz are the sort of children's wear offshoot of Sew Over It. They've got some really good wearable children's patterns. So like some really nice jersey patterns, basic shapes, things that, I mean, it can be so tempting, can't it, to make things that are really cute and frothy and whatever, but actually children grow so quickly. Like, how often do they wear those things? So I tend to make, it's the strawberry sweatshirt for me and the pansy dress, my two most made children's garments. I wanted to make them something coordinated, and Annie loves pink. Now, when she was younger, I didn't tend to get her things in pink. I'd get her things in all sorts of other colours just to be like, you can wear any colours. But now she's very much like, I'm into pink. So pink is what I will buy. So I went into Fabrics Galore, which is a shop in Battersea, Clapham. And I popped in and they had this selection of glitter cotton jersey fabrics. So I bought the navy and the pink colourway, and I knew I wanted to sort of put them together. So I made these two cute little dresses. And I was a bit over optimistic about the size of my newly born goddaughter's sister. Thinking I could put little sis on her tiny little bodice, so it ended up having to be little sis. And I just used iron-on patches from Amazon, and then I sew, so I iron them on and then sew around them, because otherwise they come off in the wash. And yeah, very quick sew, very wearable, I gather. I think the littlest one hasn't grown into hers yet, but hopefully they'll be able to match soon, and it'll be super cute. So then I had my other Selfless Sew April entry, which you'll already have seen, which is the shirt that I made for Nathan, and this actually won one of the prizes in the men's category. Ooh. And this is Simplicity S9157. Yes, that's right, S9157. I don't make a lot of big 4 patterns because the sizing isn't great, but this one did cover Nate's sizing. He's sort of tall and broad, so I wasn't sure, but it did. And the fit's pretty good, I have to say. The description for this shirt is very basic. It is men's shirt with long or short sleeves. What more is there to say? So again, I enjoyed making this. It's just a basic shape. I use this really gorgeous dead stock fabric, which is a cotton linen with a swordfish print on it. And it's Ralph Lauren Polo dead stock. And that was very breathable. He wore it in the Caribbean and he said it felt very like cool and everything, which is great. And I didn't have to adjust. He's 6'1"-ish, and the length was good on him, so I didn't have to lengthen it or anything. The sleeves were a good length as well. And it was, again, pretty quick to come together. I've made a few shirts now, so I know my way around a collar and stand and just a normal shirt collar and a button placket these days. But yeah, so I think we were pretty pleased with that. And I print matched the pocket, which was, I don't normally do, but I'm getting more into my print matching. I had to do the same with my Redwood tote, so I am getting there. So yeah, I was pleased with that as well. It goes up to, I think the largest chest measurement on that is 60-inch chest. And then my final make of April was my next little Miss So-and-so delivery, and it was the pearl, so another Tilly in the Buttons pattern. It was the pearl wrap cardigan. Now I just took some pictures of this before making this video because I realised I hadn't photographed it. It's a really weird one with the pearl pattern, you know, because I'd made one previously in a textured knit fabric and just navy, and I just never wear it. I don't know why, because I like the design, but there's something about the proportions that doesn't seem to fit in with other things that I wear. But then I popped this one over this dress and it looked all right. So I wonder if it's one of those where maybe in the summer, when I'm wearing a summer dress, you know, when it gets to a point where it gets a bit chilly in the evening, but you don't want a coat, it might be good for that. And the proportions might be a bit better. Because I don't know why, I just don't wear them that much. It's weird. But this one, I mean, I really like it. I think the shape's a wrap cardigan, you can't go wrong. The fabric is gorgeous. It's a Dashwood Studio cotton jersey. I love the colours. And it has made me think, okay, maybe I just need to consider it a bit more when I'm picking outfits. It's just funny that, isn't it? As I've had enough time now to think, why am I not wearing this one either? I don't really know why. Can't tell you why. But it's in their full size range. It's a confident beginner pattern. It's a V-neck wrap cardigan. Again, I think you've got 3 sleeve options. So there's a short and a longer straight sleeve, and then there's a balloon sleeve. And you have, it threads through at the waist and then ties on the other side. And it's cropped length. So and you have like quite a deep waistband at the waist as well, which is a good place for a waistband. Yeah, so that was another little Miss So-and-so one. Again, I think it's nice. I just don't know what it is with me in that pattern. I don't know. I feel like I think I like it more. Not that I think I like it more, but I think it's going to be more functional than it actually is with other things I own. It's necklines I have an issue with. It's like I don't wear a lot of things. I think you need something that's maybe just got a straight across neckline, which is why it looks okay with this dress, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, those were my makes for March and April. For May will get a whole video of its own because I've got plenty of things to talk about. But yeah, what do you think? I hope you enjoyed that video. There were some fails in there. There were some successes. some new skills, lots of sharing. If anyone can explain to me how you pronounce that, that would be great. And yeah, I feel like that was not a bad couple of months. So thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know what you made in March and April, or what your favourite patterns have been over that period. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you next time. All right, thanks very much. Bye.